Welcome, friends. This is Brevity Sports, coming at you from our caves where we talk major news in major sports. Here with my co-host, Big Z, and myself, Fredo Lay. Welcome, friends. We are back. We are here. You knew we would be coming at you, especially with what just went down. We're here with you on Monday night. That is when we are recording this, and the Nuggets have won their first ever NBA championship. Kudos to you. That is the nice thing about placing friendly wagers when your team's not involved. I feel like it's almost more enjoyable because I was going so hard for the Heat, right? Like I had my Miami shirt on. Like I was going hard for the Heat. I was like, let's go Heat. Let's go Jimmy. And when he lost, like, oh man, good for Jokic. I mean, like, great job, bud. Like you did it.
Yeah, no hard feelings. No hard feelings. You can't even hate on that guy. That guy is he's the nicest guy. His brothers seem super cool. His wife and his baby, like they always show them. And the guy just plays. It's just awesome. Just like that's what basketball should be. How he plays, he just exemplifies the greatness of basketball. So
I 100% agree.
I'm not mad.
No, not even a little bit. I think his brothers look friendly and nice if you're their fan. Like they are family first. If you're their friends, like they are clearly the dudes who kept Jokic out of trouble. Like they were there. Yeah. Like, no, this guy's going to the NBA. Like this guy's going to the show. Don't come near our brother. Like this guy's making it. This guy's doing it. He's going to be huge. I love it. I'm joined as always by my co-host, Big Z. Say hi to the people, Big Z.
Guys, I am pumped up because I was right. I was right about this one. Probably wrong about the next one, but I was right about the NBA Finals. I said either Nuggets in 4, Nuggets in 5. I forget what I said, but they won in 5, and so I'm excited about it. Kind of bummed that the NBA is over because this was actually like my favorite playoffs in a long time. Probably because the Lakers made a run, but otherwise, like it's been a great week. Been a great week as always. How are you?
It's been a really great week. It's been a fantastic week. We love to see it. Look, at the end of the day, the Nuggets did what they needed to do. Before we get there, though, we're going to talk a little bit of NFL because I don't know if you know, we got every sport coming at you tonight. Just so you know, we're talking some NFL, we're going to talk some NBA, we're going to talk some NHL, we're going to talk some MLB. My boy, the Joker, who I called the Joker, just won and passed Rafael Nadal as the greatest tennis champion of all time, winning the most Grand Slams. The Joker, he just did that. He just won the French Open. We're talking about all of it, okay? Big Z, talk to me, dude. Cooks just got dropped. Now, I judge football. I don't know about you, but I judge football based on fantasy football. And Cooks, to me, is always a pretty high drafted running back, right? Like, he usually gets off the board pretty quick.
He's a second round at worst, like a high second rounder. I don't know why the Vikings dropped him. Like they literally just cut him. Like they're paying his salary. It's against their books this season. Like they couldn't even find a trade partner because everyone knew that they were just going to drop him. It's crazy. Like the guys averaged 1,400 all-purpose yards the past 4 seasons, and they dropped him. They released him. It's insane. Right. Like they obviously are rebuilding now. Like they're in a situation where they know they can't win. They know that Kirk Cousins is not the guy. They gave him the worst, probably one of the worst contracts in NFL history because they gave him so much guaranteed money. And now they have to take it out on Cook. And I feel bad for the guy, but at least he's going to get to go to a competitor, I'm assuming. I heard that the Dolphins are the team that's really like the top suitor right now. I think that would be a great situation for him. Takes a lot of pressure off of Tua as well. Takes pressure off of Tyreek Hill. And I think with Mike McDaniels calling plays for that team, that offense, that'd be a dangerous team if Cook went there. That would be fun to watch.
Yeah, no, he's been great. And last year, he was ranked the 7th overall in terms of rushing yards, right? He was, in terms of running back, he had 1,173 rushing yards. And if you look at the list, like 7th sounds low, but when you actually look at the guys who are ahead of him, McCaffrey, right? Saquon Barkley, right? King Henry, like some of the guys that were ahead of him those are just the backs that are getting Austin Eckler, right? He was the Chargers offense. Like he was the entirety of the Chargers offense. So the guys that were ahead of him, it seems like seventh might be a little bit low, but there were so many dominant running backs last year that it's honestly not a surprise. And when you look at the fact he still had 1,173 rushing yards, that's not bad, right? 8 touchdowns to go along with it, and all-purpose 295 receiving yards. They did not use him as much in the passing game. When they did, he was quite effective with 2 touchdowns. He only put the ball on the ground 4 times, right? Like obviously you don't want to see any fumbles, but 4 times with all the workload. Look, I don't understand his move. And the one justification I heard about it was that the Vikings didn't have to pay him $9 million in cap. Like $9 million didn't go against their cap. So instead, like they're able to have $20 million to play with. But even when you look at that justification, it's minimal at best. And here's why. You still have Kirk Cousins, right? Like you're a Vikings team that just won your division. So typically when you start a rebuild, you're not accustomed to winning your division. The Chargers, for instance, have been a team that was supposed to be rebuilding for the last 100 years, and yet they are still competing. They're still trying. They have not blown it all up. They still have Eckler. They still have Williams. They still have Keenan. They still have all of these pieces, and they're still trying to win. And yet they have not won their division. They're not going to win their division. They will always be behind the Chiefs as long as a man named Patrick Mahomes is quarterbacking for that Kansas City team. And yet on the flip side of that, you have a team like the Vikings who just ran away with their division. It was not close, and they are expected to win it. Aaron Rodgers is gone. Green Bay will do nothing. The Bears, granted, you don't know what you're going to get with Justin Fields. Maybe he does something. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't. Right. And then I think the last team on that is the Browns.
Lions.
Right. So
Lions.
The Lions.
Yeah.
So the Lions might be the one team that could do some damage. But again, if you're a Vikings team, you're favored over the Lions with this roster. If you have Cooks, right? You added TJ Hutchinson, right? You still have Justin Jefferson, and with Cooks, I mean, really, you're not looking all that bad. I don't like Kirk Cousins. I agree with you. I'm not sure when draft day came around why they didn't, take a shot at somebody again, especially when you consider a guy like who the Rams went out and got in Bennett Stinson, right, from Georgia. Like they got him in the 4th round. This is a guy that, again, like a team like the Vikings, maybe you take a shot at a national champion who started for several years at Georgia, who SEC teams have gotten to plan around, that has still figured out and been able to win. Maybe you take a shot at a kid like that, but instead we're hearing, oh, they're blowing it up, but yet you just paid Justin Jefferson, right? So if you were blowing it up, you just paid this guy. If you were going to blow this thing up, if you were going to say, okay, we're going to start over, why would you pay Justin Jefferson and not go get picks? Because there's teams you're going to take in their storehouse. You're going to take in their storehouse, their wife's car, their kid's favorite toy, and teams would have gladly given it up for a guy like Justin Jefferson.
Well,
and yet here we are. Yeah, come on.
I feel like some team, if you really tried hard enough to trade Cook, some team would have given you something. And for $9 million, like that is nothing for these organizations. $9 million is pennies to these guys. Kirk Cousins is making $43 million this season. $43 million, all guaranteed. So I understand why you cannot trade that contract, like because no one's going to take that. But for Cook, like at least get something for him, because like you said, like if you really want to rebuild, there's no signs of that. Like they're just going to be in mediocrity now for the whole season. They're not going to be it, even if they do win the division, they're going to get slammed in the playoffs by someone. I mean, last year they got beaten by the Giants in Minnesota handily. So I don't know what this team is doing. It doesn't look like they have a plan. Now we never know. There could be an unsigned guy that they signed during training camp or whatever, but it just looks like a foolish move. And good for Cook. Seems like he's getting out of a bad toxic situation. So hopefully he finds a contender.
This is why the Vikings haven't won a Super Bowl. Like this is the kind of organizational move that is, if you're a Viking fan, you're listening to this, you want to shut us off, don't be mad at us. Okay. We're just giving you factual information because again, let's say Cousins, you can't move the contract, right? But maybe if you tell a team, hey, look, we'll give you Cooks and Cousins. So you do get this great running back. By the way, we're going to help you pay both their salaries, right? At least you get something off the books. Even if you pay a ton of money, at least you get something off the books to help your team out move forward. But instead, you're going to have Justin Jefferson, who's going to be pissed off because their offensive line didn't get better. Their defense didn't get better, right? None of their no other spot got better. They all got worse. So you're going to have Justin Jefferson even more pissed off because as you saw, he couldn't get it done by himself in the playoffs. And by the way, the worst part of that situation that you just mentioned, Big Z, none of us were surprised. You and I took the Giants.
Yeah, we did.
In Minnesota. There was no doubt. Question. They're going to go in there. They're going to get this dub. They're going to get this win.
Yeah.
It's over.
And it's not a slight either at Alexander Madison, like who is a good backup running back, but
great backup.
Has he had the time to actually fill those shoes? Like, have we seen him play 6-7 games in a row as a starter to take the brunt force of being a starting running back in the league? I don't know. Like, I mean, he hasn't, but can he hold up with that? I don't know. We'll see. Maybe they're just gambling on him and thinking that he's going to be the next guy. He seems talented, but kind of like Tony Pollard with the Cowboys.
Right.
Just kind of have to wait and see. They're just kind of playing the cheap way out right now. So they're gambling. They're gambling hard.
You look at the teams that are on the forefront of innovation or the forefront of winning Super Bowls. Right. Kansas City, multiple running backs, right? No, if you had told me at the start of last season that McKinnon was going to be the lightning rod that got them to the playoffs and got them through the playoffs, I would have been like, there's no way, right? They have so many other pieces. And granted, they had other pieces. They had multiple good running backs on that team, right? Like McKinnon was more of the passing back. You had other running backs that are filling in more of like the brunt, run hard, run it up, you're running in your face. You know, at one point, at the start of the season, Clyde Edwards-Helaire was the guy.
Right.
And then Pacheco was like, no, I'm the guy. Yeah. I'm the dude. And then all of a sudden now, McKinnon steps into it. Look at these teams, the Lions, right? A team that we love to love on for whatever reason, even though you and I are not Lions fans, you're welcome, Detroit. Again, even them last year, right? You had multiple running backs, DeAndre Swift and his running back. You got to stay healthy.
Fresh and healthy. Niners, look at them.
The idea, and contracts are reflecting that. The idea that one running back is going to be able to carry you for the next few years on their own, it's just not reality. You need a tandem of running back as the NFL is getting bigger, faster, and stronger. There's a reason that they protect the quarterbacks the way they do. Speaking of that exact scenario, we have a guy like Saquon Barkley now who is looking for more money. And a few years ago, right, a guy like Saquon, hands down, you're like, dude, give this guy the bag forever. Like, he is your running back for the next 5-6 years. Give him the bag. But you've seen him go down with injury, but he's still super talented, and he is still the Giants. I don't know, Big Z, what's your thoughts on this? So apparently the Giants franchise tagged him, right? They were in talks with him. They told him, hey, look, we'll give you $14 million. It wasn't guaranteed. Those details never came out. Saquon didn't like it. Then they offered him $12 million. Again, the details never came out. Saquon didn't like it. It feels like he's looking for guaranteed money, and maybe that's where the negotiations broke down. And now, so they ended up franchise tagging him, and now Saquon is going full Le'Veon Bell on the whole situation. He's like, if I need to sit this puppy out, I'm going to do it. Well, what do you think about this, Big Z?
I think the Giants are foolish here. I think that they're making a mistake just like the Vikings did. Saquon Barkley, it hides Daniel Jones, his weaknesses.
Amen.
You need Saquon Barkley on your team, on your field for 95% of the snaps that are going down, because without him, Daniel Jones will be exposed. Daniel Jones is an athletic quarterback. He's good, but he is not Patrick Mahomes. He is not a top 5, top 10 even QB in the league. He'll get you to the playoffs, but the only reason why he was so successful is because he was able to dump the ball off to Saquon, hand the ball off to Saquon whenever they needed it. Saquon Barkley had the best year of his career last year. He had 1,312 rushing yards, 10 touchdowns. He had 57 receptions.
the guy's a beast. And I read an article about an agent was talking about what he thinks that Saquon deserves, and he said just give the guy $10 million per year for 3 years, guaranteed though, fully guaranteed. And to me, that's not asking a lot, right? Like as a star running back of your team, as one of the guys who probably is considered the heart and soul of your team, that's a guy you want to invest in, right? He's not too old. He's come out, he has one ACL surgery, but you've seen him come back from that and have the best year of his career. And for you guys to argue over a couple $1 million guaranteed, it seems foolish to me. And if you let this guy sit out, Daniel Jones's career is going to be shortened real quick because you don't have a guy to really let him, bounce off of and throw the ball to and just hand it off. Like you just don't have that piece, that weapon in your offense. You don't have any receivers. So who's the ball going to go to? It's Saquon. He's the guy. So Giants, you guys need to figure this out because that guy is everything, is your one key to success.
Dude, fire and lightning, baby. Fire and ice, whatever it is, whatever pairing you want to go to, you still need fire. You still need the first piece. You still need the dude. I'm sorry, thunder and lightning. That sounds way better. Thunder and lightning. There it was. I found it. Took me a second. I found it.
Yeah, I like fire and lightning. It's cool.
Fire and lightning, baby. You know what I mean? Fire and ice. You know, I was thinking of New Girl. Wow. I just made myself super lame. When
I love New Girl.
When Winston and Coach are they're doing the thing.
Yes.
Like, yes. If you're watching me on YouTube, which by the way, we have a YouTube channel, it'd be much more funny to see me doing the hand motion. If you're listening to this on a podcast, I'm doing it. It doesn't matter. Regardless, here's the thing. You still need the first piece. You still need the guy that gets it going, right? When you look at a guy like White and Reggie Bush, like back from the day at USC, like you need those two pieces. You need that pairing, but there's got to be a premier dude. Reggie Bush was the premier dude. Pollard was better because of Ezekiel Elliott, because Ezekiel Elliott was running through the tackles, not doing a thing. They were still better for it because when Pollard got on the field, you had to assume, are they actually going to run the ball? I don't know. Like this year is going to be the first year for Pollard, a guy like Pollard. When he's out there, everybody's going to know, no, this is the running back. Right. Like you're going to run. It makes guys like Eckler, like Saquon, so much more valuable. 30 million guaranteed does not sound like a ton to me. And I'll also be honest in this, as much as Saquon has been injured, his ability to bounce back is equally impressive to me. Right. His ability to get back on the football field and be Saquon, right? A year ago, we were like, is this dude ever going to be the same? But what did he was playing and he was clearly still injured. He was not 100%, but what was he doing? He was giving his team everything he had. Right. He was saying, look, my name is Barkley. And for anybody who's watching the NFL saying, dude, why is this guy even playing? Okay, this isn't like baseball. In baseball, when a pitcher's hurt, if he's doing a disservice to his team, you're like, dude, get off the field, get right. You're blowing the game. You gave up 8 runs this game, 9 runs last game. That's not what this is. When you are on the court in basketball, it's very similar to basketball in this. When you're on the court, teams have to game plan for you. So even if you're not at 100%, at least a coach out there has to think, well, what if he is 100%? I know last week he wasn't. I know he looked bad, but what if he is? What if Saquon does become Saquon this week and I don't game plan for him, right? Like you still have to take him out with your game planning. And so even if you didn't love what Saquon looked like last year, the fact that he was out there, the fact that he was participating, the fact that he gave you something to think about, I mean, that is invaluable to a football team. Like you said, if you don't get Saquon, who are your receivers? Like you signed Waller, good job.
Right. But
what is your offense? Yeah, Daniel Jones is not going to carry you. Daniel Jones is not that.
We hate on him. Like he's fine. He's good, and but this is the reason why he took less money in his contract.
Right,
was so that
less guaranteed
your superstars. Saquon Barkley, the guy who is the heart and soul of your team, the guy who's going to get the engine rolling every time. You want to establish the run. Like that's what every team wants to do, right?
Yep.
Why wouldn't you give the ball to Saquon Barkley? Why would you want him to be sitting out on the sideline, out of the stadium, while you're handing it off to God knows who? Like what are you guys doing? Like, you
Right.
know, we're 10 million for 3 years, so 30 million overall. Doesn't seem crazy to me for a guy of this talent. It actually kind of seems cheap, in my opinion. So
100%.
I hope they figure it out. They obviously have time, and this, you know, this is normal. They go back and forth through the media. So who's going to fold first? He obviously wants to be there. You know, he obviously does, and they want him there as well. I think it's just a couple $1 million that they're fighting over. I think guaranteed.
Right.
I hope they figure it out, because if they don't, that's a 4 or 5 win team at best, for sure.
By the way, I got to say this, a guy that I really respect, admire, I listen to him all the time, but I could not disagree more with him. I vehemently want to say right now on the record, I could not disagree more with Colin Cowherd on this. The Herd completely botched this take when he comes out saying nobody was going to pay Daniel Jones what Daniel Jones got from the Giants. Are you serious? You haven't heard of the Washington football team? You haven't heard of the Colts? You haven't heard of Vegas? They just paid. Look, I like Jimmy G, but he's more mobile than Jimmy G. Like you haven't heard the Vikings.
Kirk Cousins.
He's not even worth. Like he's not asking for hundreds of millions of dollars. Like Colin Cowherd came out and said, "I just want to say nobody was going to give this guy this amount of money if the Giants just let him walk. Like they need. Like I agree with you that they need Saquon Barkley. Like I agree with that part of your take." But the idea to come out and say that no one was going to pay Daniel Jones, are you like, that's the dumbest take of all time. Like he's been a decent quarterback. He's been above average. And that is, I don't know if you know, but that's pretty rare right now in football. Atlanta doesn't know what they have. The Colts certainly don't know what they have. Washington has no idea what they are going to do. Right.
Well,
you look around.
If we're comparing, Colin has been a proponent of Lamar Jackson. If you're comparing him and Daniel Jones, like we went over Jimmy G's stats compared to Lamar Jackson's stats a few weeks ago.
Right.
Daniel Jones has more passing yards than Lamar Jackson, way less interceptions, way better QB rating. So if we're comparing the two, like Daniel Jones deserves the contract that he got. And I'm not talking about Lamar Jackson right now, but Daniel Jones deserves the money, and he took less guaranteed money. Of course, the numbers look inflated when you just look like what he can make, but most of the time they're not going to make that much money. Like there's a reason why they're going to make X amount of money with only X amount guaranteed. And most of the time it's a little bit more than the guaranteed money that they're going to make. But the reason he did that was because he knows he needs help around him. He was a smart guy, and the Giants know that. So yes, they need Saquon, but use the money that you saved with Saquon or with Daniel Jones and give it to Saquon. Like it's absurd. Like I think a team would have probably paid more for Daniel Jones if he left the Giants. In my opinion,
it's an absurd take. Colin is usually better than that. When I heard that piece of his take, I was like, stop it.
Yeah,
stop it. They need Saquon. Yes, 100%. But that was just such a horrible take. Daniel Jones would have gotten paid. Okay. This dude has been balling. He's been doing well. Leave that guy alone. All right. Moving right along. Leave him alone. Big thing happens in the NBA. Another guy that you either need to love or leave alone. He cost me chugging a double mango IPA. So thank you for that, sir. Win-win in my case.
Boo-hoo.
Boo-hoo. It's such a hard life that we lead here on Brevity Sports. Listen, the Nuggets couldn't be more happy for you. They win their first NBA championship. We're going to clap it up right here on Brevity Sports. Well done. We are proud of you. Congratulations, Carmelo, wherever you are. I hear rumors you got a ring too. Congratulations. You helped make that franchise relevant on some level. Did you participate? No. You do think maybe the Nuggets would have signed him for like the veteran minimum, like, hey, dude, sit at the end of our bench.
Seriously,
and
right?
just like sit. And then like, give him that culture. Yeah. Somebody hand that dude a clipboard. Somebody give that guy a clipboard. Let him circle some O's and cross some X's and do something. Listen, the Nuggets get it done. Joker got it done. Big Z was right. And before I let him gloat, I just want to say, all right, the Heat tonight, it was more of the same. And there was no way they were going to win this doing what they did tonight. They shot 34% from the field. That's not from the three line. They shot 34% from the field. They shot 25% from the three. So it was not a great shooting night for them. And here's the thing we've been saying all along. The Nuggets were a better team than the Heat. I never made that argument. I never sat here and told you the Heat are going to win this because they're better. I said the Heat to have a chance, they needed to drag this thing out. They needed to scratch. They needed to claw. They needed to find a way to win. They needed to find a way to make it dirty. If you go back and listen to us, they needed to find a way to get the Nuggets off their game, and they couldn't do it. They couldn't hit the threes when it mattered. But more than that, the Nuggets were just too overpowering for them.
They're so good.
They had so many pieces. And listen, if you're a Nuggets player, don't take the money. Just keep what you have together and you will build something. You will build a dynasty. You will build a legacy. It just felt like game one, Aaron Gordon just stole the show, right? He just came in and stole the show. Game two, Murray's like, dude, I'm back. Chill out. I got this. They lose a close one. Murray went off in the fourth. It took everything for the Heat to keep them off of them. But then the joke comes out game three. He's like, this is my team. This is my squad. I got you. Look, at the end of the day, they were just way too much for the Heat. They just were. The Heat, if they were going to have a chance at this, they needed to shoot the lights out. But you called it, Big Z. Take your moment in the spotlight. You called it. Let everybody know the Nuggets did it.
I mean, it wasn't that crazy of a hot take that I took the Nuggets, but I will gloat. No. I will gloat.
Not a boy.
Because I
gloat
was
on
right.
it. Gloat on
the
it.
fact that the Nuggets only shot 17% from three tonight and they still won. To shoot only 17% in today's NBA and still win a game, that just means you're great. That you just do everything else so well. And you said it so eloquently. Don't take the money. Don't take the big contracts. Like, you're being paid plenty of money. If you want to start something here or there in Denver, a dynasty. Yes, I'm going to say it, a dynasty. You
100%.
Stay put. That team has been so well put together over the years, and I want to give the front office so much credit for sticking with Mike Malone, because there were so many years that they were the 1 seed, the 2 seed, and that they bowed out in the first or second round. And there were so many people, so much pressure from the media to fire this guy because he didn't have the right culture. He didn't have the right this or that. But for them to stick with them and to stick with the core of Murray and Jokic and to bring in a guy like Aaron Gordon, I think Aaron Gordon is the key to this whole thing. He really unlocked the rest of that offense. He really allowed the Joker to space out a little bit and play his game. He was way more effective because of Aaron Gordon. His assist numbers went up. And Aaron Gordon defensively is by far the best defensive player in that team, but he's able to lock up guys like Jimmy Butler, guys like LeBron James, like Anthony Davis. So shout out to them. Shout out to Michael Porter, who's had like 2 back surgeries within the past 4 years, and he's still starting for this team. He had 16 points tonight. It's just fun to watch the Nuggets play. Like I said it earlier in the show, when you watch the Nuggets play, it's more of an old school basketball in a way. Yes, they shoot threes, but they do things fundamentally right. I think they turned the ball over. Let me check. Like 10 times tonight, which is nothing in the NBA. They do everything the right way, and it starts with their leader, Jokic, the deserved MVP of the finals, who I think should be MVP of the season. But he obviously doesn't care, and that's a testament to who he is as a guy. He could care less about. He's glad that Embiid won the NBA regular season MVP, but he cares about the finals, right? And he wants to win a championship, and he's just a nice guy. And I love the guys who just put their heads down and just play the game of basketball, who just seem very, very humble. And tonight, he was a beast on the boards. I rarely see Jokic. He hustles, obviously, but tonight he was going the extra mile to get those boards. He had 16 rebounds, 28 points, only 4 assists. But man, it was definitely a pleasure watching their run. And I'm really happy for them, because during the regular season, channels like ESPN, like those, the media outlets, they don't show them on a Friday night, on a Sunday showcase, Saturday night showcase game, right? And so for the world to actually get to see them during the playoffs, because those are the only channels that they're on, they're during prime time,
it's going to help them grow their brand within this country. It's huge for them. I heard something on the radio the other day that Jokic has his jersey is number 15, the 15th most jerseys sold in the whole league. Like LaMelo Ball sells more jerseys than Nikola Jokic. I hope that changes after this playoff run. It has to, because this guy deserves it. He's so good, so talented, and this team was fun to watch. So I can't wait to watch you chug the beer. I'm going to be chugging with you probably, but we can do it together. At least I got one.
There
right.
we go.
One right.
There we go.
Woo!
At least you got one right. I will say part of that is on Denver. I like one of their uniforms. Not a big fan of the other one. I'm not sure if it's home or away.
Not the look of the uniform. It's
just redesign it. Get a better uniform.
But people don't, like, little kids don't care about the look of it too much. It's just the name on the back. And Jokic hasn't been. There was, I bet you anything. We could look it up, but I bet you another beer that ESPN or the main media outlets had more Charlotte Hornets basketball games on primetime than the Nuggets.
100%. 100%.
The Charlotte Hornets. Like,
by the
that's
way,
the problem. That's what
I want to say, I love your shout out of Michael Porter Jr. And I want to say this, don't take the money, because that's exactly who I was talking about. That dude is going to get so many offers. Like, hey, you could be our star. No, you're not. Okay. I love you, but no, you're not. You're not the star. Okay. You got all those open looks because Murray and Jokic were on the same floor as you. Okay. Right. Don't buy your own hype. Okay. Stay there. Right. Be great. Build his dynasty. Take the millions. And then when, Nesquik calls with like their, offer of endorsement, or Nike calls with their offer of endorsement, make your money that way. Okay.
Bro, go be the, he's locked up through 2027.
Oh, good. But we know in the NBA, but we also know in the NBA, that means nothing, right? A la Kevin Durant, you could be locked up.
True. But he also makes 30 million this year, 33 million next year, 35, 38, and then 40. So I think he's good. I think he'll be happy.
Wow. Yeah, nobody's gonna give him that.
So they locked him up on on a max rookie contract back a couple of years ago, or last.
That was good.
So that was
stay there after that. Stay there even after that.
Yeah.
Here's the other thing I'm going to say before we move on from the NBA. I just want to point this out again. NBA, I told you, NBA fans, I told you, I picked him. Doesn't matter. Look, Jimmy Buckets, I love this guy 100%. I love him. I love Mitchie Muffins wherever you're at, dude. I love this guy. You love this guy. I love him. He needs help. Okay. And at the end of the day, Tyler Hero going out, that killed it. He was so tired. I don't know if you saw him at the end of the game. He was like dapping everybody up, like, thank God this is over. Like, he had nothing left in the tank. Like, I'm listening to the guys on ESPN, just like, Jimmy Butler's got to step up. Jimmy Butler's got to be the guy. Jimmy Butler, he is exhausted.
I know.
He has nothing left in the tank. His legs are dead. And like, well, Bam twisted his ankle and the Joker twisted his ankle. Bam look, okay. I like Bam. Okay. He had a great finals. I'm not saying he didn't. He scored over 20 points every game. If I had a nickel for every time that Bam blew a layup or missed something in the paint, I would be able to play Pac-Man like 20 times. Okay. Like, I'm not trying to hate on the guy. All I'm saying is Jimmy Butler is the dude. He was and is the dude. And when you don't have help, when Joker had an off night, Murray picked him up.
Right.
When Murray had a bad night, Joker picked him up. Gordon picked him up. When Jimmy has a bad night, no one is going to pick him up. Martin finally showed up. Too little, too late. Too little, too late.
I agree.
Jimmy had nothing left in the tank. Everybody's sitting here at home saying Jimmy's got to do it. He tried, by the way. He still finished with over 20. But you could tell he was done. His legs were tired. He had carried the entire city of Miami on his back until Lionel Messi showed up. Like, the reality is he was tired, which, by the way, I'm throwing Big Z my own curveball because he got me. He got me last week, and I didn't warn him. I didn't text him about it. Big Z, Lionel Messi's going to Miami, right? I don't know. I sent you the funniest tweet I've ever read in my life from a Lionel Messi fan. This guy came out and says, hey, man, new fan here. First question, why do we have beef with this team? Why do we wear pink? What's our mantra? Like asking all the things because he's never even read. He didn't even know Miami had a team until Lionel Messi came to Miami. Is this good for the MLS, Big Z?
Oh my God. Yes. This is huge. It's even bigger than when David Beckham came to the MLS. Like Messi, like the guy still has like probably 3 or 4 prime years left in his soccer career. And it's insane to me that he chose them over the team in Saudi Arabia that was going to give him hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars. And shout out to David Beckham, mentioning him because he owns Inter Miami, and he was the one who brought him over. And this is just going to grow. Like MLS has been growing over the past few seasons. They've been getting TV deals. They've been able to grow their sport. They have so many different expansion teams now that are just kind of popping up out of nowhere. Inter Miami,
LAFC,
Inter Miami. You know, they're the newest ones, but it's fun to watch, guys. Like people think that soccer is boring, but the MLS it's going to start to become a good league. We had a lot of guys in the World Cup that actually played in the MLS, and it's not. People used to look at it and kind of laugh it off and like, oh yeah, that's the league that people go to retire in for like their last year, right? Or it's the scrubs who are trying to make it to those World Cup rosters or trying to make it to the Premier League, but they just can't make it, so they have to keep themselves busy and play in the MLS. I'm not saying it's up there with the Premier League yet, and I don't know if it ever will, but it definitely puts a spotlight on the MLS and its growth. So I think that it's a wonderful thing for the game. I think that Messi is going to have fun probably dominating the league, but it's also going to help guys grow their own talent because they're playing against a talent like Messi, right? So, which in turn will make the league even more competitive, even better going down the road. And when you have guys like Messi going to the MLS, it turns heads. And guys are going to start to think about that now, right? And they're going to be like, you know what? Maybe it's not a bad decision to go to the MLS, to go to a new up and coming team and to see what I can do. Because that's awesome. If you're able to grow a sport and it's like, because of me, I had a huge play in this, a huge contribution to this. That's awesome, man. Like to be able to be a part of that story. I would love that. So I think it's great. When I first heard the rumors, a while ago, I was like, there's no way he's choosing that Inter Miami MLS, but
no.
David Beckham, man. David Beckham.
No, I didn't think so. And I'll tell you why it's bigger than David Beckham. I'll tell you why it's bigger than anybody else who's ever come to the MLS. It's because Messi has a chance, and in my opinion, is the greatest soccer player of all time.
Yeah.
He did it. He won the World Cup. He's won Ballon d'Or. He's won everything you can possibly win as a soccer player. Right. And when he won the World Cup, that was massive because he was the dude. He was unquestionably the dude. Right. You had an aging Di Maria on that squad. Messi put the team on his back, scored goal after goal, including in the final, watching him and Mbappe go back and forth. It was absolutely insane. And now he's in the MLS. It's huge. I know Zlatan considers himself like the GOAT for whatever reason. I don't know. He's not. It's Messi. I just want to be real cool that is Messi. And he's coming to the MLS, and I love it because I'm here for American soccer. I'm here for LAFC. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Love it.
Good job, David Beckham. Way to bring him on over. I cannot wait to watch it. Shifting into a gear in which I love to be right. I love when I'm right, people. You do not understand how much I love to be right. And it's not official yet. It's not official yet. I'm going to let Big Z go first.
I went first. It's fault that, Chuck is hurt and that the Knights are just, taking cheap shots at
We made him a verb. And we made him a verb. And it just all went downhill from there. I feel like we jinxed him.
Well, no, maybe we did jinx him, but he's gotten hurt, man. He's gotten hurt because the Knights, they're going a little underneath the belt, I think. They're being a little cheap and dirty.
There you go.
And they're not.
There you go. Call him out, Big Z.
Like gentlemen, like the sport of hockey is. It's a gentleman's sport, isn't it? Right? Yeah, that's the only reason why.
I think that's golf. I'm pretty sure that's golf.
That's the only reason why the Golden Knights are winning 3-1. The Panthers, they looked like they were going to come back and tie game 4 on Saturday night, and it bummed me the heck out that they weren't able to do it. But I still believe that they can come back. Kachuk is a game time decision, but I think that all the media surrounding them and this storyline of is he going to play? Is he not going to play? Is he going to let his team down? He only played 16 minutes and 54 seconds last game, the lowest of this playoffs. I think that's going to rally these Florida Panthers. They're going to win it tomorrow night, game 5. They're going back to Florida, winning game 6 by a lot in a freaking shutout blowout. In game 7, they're going to win 2-1. Book it. Book it now. Kachuk is going to Kachuk.
You're going to be drinking with me on our next podcast. It's going to be great. Yeah. You're going to be having a beer right with me. It's going to be great. Stay tuned for that. Listen, here's the problem. They were down 3-1 when they came back against the Bruins. 100%. I give them that. The problem is Kachuk's hurt. He's obviously hurt. There's obviously Kachuk. He's so hurt. And it's he was grimacing. He was grimacing throughout the entirety of the last game. Yeah. If he's healthy, I'd give them a much bigger shot. Here's the other thing I'm going to say. I agree with you that the Vegas Golden Knights have been taking shots. They've been doing things. They've been trying to rile them up. But here's the problem with the NHL. That's what a lot of the greats do. And that's why a lot of people don't enjoy it as much as others. When you look at a team like the Kings, my team, you mentioned one name, right? There's a guy, my boy Matt. If he's listening to this, he's going to die when I mention this name. He's a big Ducks fan. Dustin Brown. If you're a Kings fan, you love Dustin Brown. You love Dustin Brown with all your heart. He was the captain through our 2 Stanley Cups. If you are any other fan, you hate this dude because any chance he got, take a shot at somebody big before the whistle, after the whistle, during the whistle, whatever. He took that shot. He took that shot, and it was up to you to keep a cool head. It was up to you to stay within your own game. It was up to you to not adjust to what he was doing. And that is what the Vegas Knights have done to the Panthers. They have completely taken them out of their game. They have completely gotten under their skin in every way, shape, form, opportunity. They have taken it to the Panthers, and they are so psychologically embedded in the Panthers' heads right now. It's not funny. At the end of game 4, for the Panthers to respond the way that they did, you would have thought that the series was over. You would have thought that it was done. You would have thought that was that was a 4th win for the Knights, and it wasn't. You skate off. You don't let them know that they're under your skin. You don't let them know that they bothered you. You just skate off and say, we're on to the next one. Man, the Knights are so in there. Like my buddy Mitch, he always loves to say it. They have they're renting space for free in the Panthers' heads.
I think they just had to let it out. You know, that's why
they just gotta let it out. They just gotta let it out.
They just let it out. And they pushed the Knights out of their heads right there.
There you go.
They
let it out.
Frustration out, and they're gonna be a whole new team tomorrow night. You watch, okay? Y'all think I'm crazy, but you watch.
Y'all think I'm
do it.
Hey, I picked the Heat, and I turned out to be crazy. So
they did it against the Bruins, and you're right. Kachuk's hurt, but Kachuk's, and he's gonna do the thing. He's gonna come back.
Kachuk is gonna Kachuk.
Yeah.
He's gonna Kachuk. I'll tell you who else Kachuked. My boy Djokovic. I told you his name before in this podcast on accident because I accidentally called the Joker that. Listen, this is the greatest, arguably the greatest tennis player of all time.
Oh, for sure.
He just passed Federer. He had already passed Federer. I apologize. He just passed Nadal. Okay. This guy's ability on the tennis court is insane. He's done it on hard court. He's done it on grass. He's done it on dirt. I know I watch too many sports. People are turning us off and are they seriously talking tennis? Yes, I am.
Tennis?
Yes, I am. Because every once in a while you get to watch a GOAT, and it doesn't matter what sport it's in. When you get to watch a GOAT, that's huge. That's why I'm selfish. When people are why do you like Tom Brady so much? Because I'm selfish. I want to say I watched the GOAT, right. And I was there. I was relevant for when he was the GOAT. Michael Jordan, I didn't appreciate Michael Jordan as much as I should have. I did not. That's why Kobe's my GOAT. Kobe
Right.
is my GOAT. I want Kobe because I paid attention to Kobe. I loved Kobe. I'm selfish. And when I saw the Joker win this thing, I absolutely watched it. He won it in straight sets. My dude got it done. He balled. It never looked like it was in doubt. Okay. The Joker, if you're not a tennis fan, watch. It's over now. Okay. The French Open is done. It's over. You got one more shot at the Grand Slam, the U.S. Open in New York. It's always hyped. The Joker is notorious there. He's an absolute villain in New York ever since he was taking out Americans and let America know. He put the ears up, be like, "What's up, America? I'm right here. That's where your boy is." Watch this guy. It's going to be so much fun to watch. He's going for it. He's going to do it again. Big Z, you're going to be watching the U.S. Open. I got to ask you.
Yeah, I'll watch it because you're going to watch it. You got me hyped.
That's right, baby.
You got me hyped.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
Tennis is fun, man. Tennis is fun to watch. It's super hard. If you guys have ever played it, it's a very hard game. It takes a lot of
don't realize you don't realize when you're watching baseball and you're like, okay, a baseball pitcher, right, which is still, I'm not comparing this. I still think it's harder to hit a ball over the fence. I'm not comparing this, but I am saying we think, right? Oh my God, that guy just hit the ball threw the ball 100 miles an hour. In tennis, there was a dude named Andy Roddick, by the way, who's an American, who was serving the ball like 150 miles an hour.
Right. And just
like
to return
his racket.
Just to return that is just
that's stupid.
Right.
That's stupid. It's fun, man. It's a fun sport to watch. Watch the U.S. Open. It's going to be great. Before we end this episode, we got to talk about something that's near and dear to our hearts. Big Z. I'm gonna let you again. I'm gonna let you lead off this one because you told us. You told me. You didn't tell us because we weren't going yet. But you told me a year ago.
I did.
The Diamondbacks.
I did.
Here they are. We got to give them their love. We've given the Dodgers their love. We've given the Yankees their love. We've given, I believe we get the Marlins their love. Not the Marlins, the Tampa Bay
Rays.
We give them their love. We've given love. We've given love to a lot of teams.
Yeah, we do.
But the Diamondbacks, it's their time now.
They're deserving of our weekly love for the MLB. We will highlight them tonight. The Diamondbacks are 40 wins and 25 losses. They're leading the NL West for the first time in a very, very long time.
Very long time.
I think over a decade, because the Dodgers have just destroyed that division in so long. And I think out of all the teams that are benefiting from the new scheduling system with you don't have to play your division all the time, it's probably the Diamondbacks. Yes, they have a winning record against the Dodgers this year. But they get to just diversify their wins against other teams. They're playing teams in the AL Central more, teams in the NL Central more. So I'm not saying they have an easier schedule by any means. They're doing great things. Yesterday they were down by 2 in the top of the 9th inning. They came back and won because they play the game the right way. They're definitely taking advantage of the bigger bases. Of the you can only have 2 pickoff attempts now. I think that's great. And I really think that they're doing so well because they called up Corbin Carroll. This guy is a stud. He's obviously by far the favorite to win the Rookie of the Year for the National League. He is hitting .314. He has 13 homers, 34 RBIs, and 19 stolen bases. This guy is such a stud. He plays great defense in the outfield. And he just plays the game the right way, and it's really fun to watch him play. So for this team to come from where they've been the past few years, just in the gutter. Last year we talked to each other about what they did or didn't do at the trade deadline. They gave away a lot of guys that were just on expiring contracts, but they got back a lot of young guys. And a lot of people were just like, you guys failed the trade deadline. What are you doing? Like, you were kind of in contention for that last wildcard spot. But this is the payoff now. Like, these guys they were ready to play. They just needed one more offseason to develop, and they're here now. And shout out to them. It's really fun to watch. And I think that they're gonna compete with the Dodgers to win that NL West. That's my opinion. I don't think that they're a fluke. I think that they're a really good team. They've built the team the right way, and it's going to be interesting for sure. I love it.
100%, man.
That's why I love
100%.
baseball.
Listen, it's been said before that baseball is an intelligent man's game. If golf is a gentleman's game, baseball is an intelligent man's game, and that is huge. That's the thing. a lot of people look at teams like the Dodgers, like the Diamondbacks, when they make moves like this. They don't sign the big names at times, especially the Diamondbacks, right? They were just building, just steadily building. You look at a guy like Carroll. All you need to know before this game tonight, I looked at the stats before the game, full disclosure, I'm just letting you know, it's Monday night. Before the game on Monday night, when this was released on Wednesday or Thursday, this dude was leading this team in average, in hits, and on base percentage. This guy is balling. They have found their star, and they are running with it in a division that was expected to be dominated by the Padres, that has been owned by the Dodgers. The Diamondbacks are doing their thing. Credit to their management, credit to their owners. They have a gorgeous stadium out there in Phoenix. If you've never been, I highly recommend it. They've got great food. It's sort of the south of Phoenix. Phoenix is right there on the cusp. It's fantastic. Listen, this team is good, and they're going to keep being good. And I cannot wait to watch a tight race in the NL West. I can't wait to watch a tight race in the AL East. If you are not watching baseball, we warned you about hockey. And if you didn't listen, you missed it, because it was exciting, and it's still exciting. We warned you about basketball. And if you didn't watch it, you're regretting it now, because it was magical, absolutely magical, watching the Nuggets win their first NBA championship. And we're telling you right now, start watching baseball. Doesn't matter if you like the team. Doesn't matter if you love the team. In fact, it might be more fun if you have no vested interest, because then you just get to cheer purely for who's doing better. And you get to cheer for that guy who's going for the record. You get to cheer for this dude who's having a great game. It's so exciting to watch. I've watched a few of their games. Carroll is absolutely electric in the outfield as well, right? It's absolutely so much fun to watch. Check it out. The Diamondbacks are doing their thing. Big Z. This has been a fun episode. You're praying for the Panthers. You won with the Nuggets. You're watching the U.S. Open. You're rooting for the Diamondbacks, but hoping the Dodgers still win because we're homers. What can we do?
Right.
And we're wondering what the Vikings are doing. Say bye to the people, Big Z.
God, there's so many things. There's so many things that are going on in my mind right now. But it makes me so happy. It reminds me that football's around the corner. Fantasy football is around the corner. But while I'm waiting for that to come, I got the greatest sport in the dog days of summer. The best time that you see the real teams, the good teams coming out of the woodworks. You know, that's the team to beat. Baseball is on, baby. And now it's officially baseball season. The summer is here. I'm super excited about it. Can't wait to talk to you guys about it every single week. You guys have a great week. And watch the Panthers are going to win. The Panthers are going to win. They're going to do it.
Have a great week. The Knights are going to end it tomorrow night. Be tuned for that. Knights are going to end it. Big Z and I are going to have a drink together. It's going to be great. Check us out on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram. We are Brevity Sports. Vikings, we don't know what you're doing. Sincerely, from the bottom of our hearts, we're not even trying to be mean. We just don't know what you're doing. Giants, sign Saquon. He's really good. I don't know if you knew. He's really, really good. You had a great season. Time to find some healthy pieces around Jimmy Butler. Nuggets, keep your pieces. Keep it going. Let's do it. Joker, congratulations, my friend, to winning the French Open. Keep it up. Keep it going. Hopefully one day we'll have you on the podcast. That's right. Putting it out in the universe.
Yeah.
Brevity Sports. Keep with us. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your week. We'll be with you back next week. Again, check us out on Instagram. We got a bunch of YouTube videos going up there. Our YouTube, Brevity Sports, Twitter, the whole 9 yards. We love you. And we'll end this episode, as we always do, with a very simple thank you for listening.